Welcome to Yoga with Kat Harmon. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's start in an easy seated position. Bringing the palms down to the knees. Sit up nice and tall and allow the eyes to float closed. We're just going to start to connect to our Ujjayi breath, finding deep inhales through the nose and long, slow exhales out of the nose. Just starting to slow down your breath, slow down your day, and allow yourself to land here in this moment. Starting to slowly open the eyes, bring your gaze back into the room. Begin to move through some seated cats and cows. Inhale opens the heart forward. Pull the shoulders back. Reach up with the neck, not back. So think about lengthening out. And then exhale, curl in through the chest. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, as you curl back and in, think about lifting up through the belly as you pull the chin to the chest. 2 more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back towards center, sit up nice and tall once again. Moving through a couple of side body stretches. You're going to reach the left fingertips out to the side. Right arm comes up and over, lengthening. Try to relax the back of the neck. Maybe even pull the chin down towards the right shoulder a little bit more. Peeling that top shoulder back. We'll inhale up. Exhale to the other side. Think about lengthening, pulling back and not rolling and curling forward, not yet. Find that place where you feel the nice stretching sensation and then see if you can pull that chin down towards the shoulder. Pulling that back shoulder, that top shoulder back and down. Inhaling back up nice and tall. Exhaling hands to heart center. Setting an intention for today's practice. If that's what you need, allow the eyes again to float closed. Take 3 of your biggest, fullest breaths. And just starting again to open those eyes back up. Bring the hands back to the knees. We're going to take a few circles through our upper body. Again, warming up the spine. If sitting directly on the ground is quite uncomfortable for you, you can take a blanket and fold it up and place it underneath the hips, and that'll bring a little bit more ease to this position. So starting to roll through your torso. Inhale, pulls it forward. Exhale, curls back and in, releasing the back of that neck. My neck's quite tight today, so hopefully you're feeling a little bit more flexibility here. Take one more round, this first direction. And we'll start to come back towards center and reverse that roll. So start to roll through the shoulders and spine and just checking in with the sensations that you're feeling. If you're feeling like the shoulders are tight, the neck is tight, the hips are tight, become aware of those places. Let's take this final round. And back towards center. Gently unwind the legs and plant the feet like you're moving into a bridge pose. Gently bring those hands back, and I'm going to switch to the side so you can see this a little bit better. Fingertips towards the bum. We're going to press up and start to open up through our shoulders. If your wrists are uncomfortable, turn the fingertips out to the side. Begin to lift, open up, and gently come back down. Relax those legs to the easy seated position. Roll through those wrists, one direction and then the other. Starting to bring the hands together, we're going to roll through those wrists. So keep the palms connected, the base of the palms connected, and release the fingers. Starting to roll those wrists towards one another. Reversing that flow. Again, sitting up nice and tall, trying not to sink into your core here, keeping the low back nice and long. Letting that go, just shake those hands out. Now the next thing we're going to do is reach our arms straight out. Turn the hands out. Take your right arm, reach it up and over, interlacing the fingers. Hands start to come down towards you and out. You might be able to get the arms all the way out straight, and they may look a little bit closer towards this. See if you can relax the shoulders. Try to press those fingertips away as you breathe in deeply. And release. 2 more. Last one. And release. Slowly bring those hands back towards you. Undo that grip. Shake the hands out again. And let's find the other side. So reach those fingers out. Turn the hands away. Take the other arm up and over. Interlace the fingers. And you might, oops, that's the same way I just did. You might be able to get the arms a little bit further. They might be a little bit tighter. So just become aware again. There's a lot of stuff going on in this stretch. It can be your wrist flexibility. It could be your forearms. It could even have to do with our shoulders. Just relax into it. Try not to force anything to happen. It's just about building a little bit more mobility each time we come here. Try to relax for this last round of breath. And bring those hands back towards you. Unwind. Shake it out. That gave you a little bit of uncomfortable sensation. Just take a moment. Press the hands towards one another. Bringing those shoulders back and down. Awesome. So let's move into a bound angle. Bring the feet together, knees apart, as close as you can to you. And just gently have some bouncing here. Starting to break up our fascia. Just loosening it up a little bit so that when we begin to find this stretch, we get a little bit more space in our muscles. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale, start to fold forward till you can't go any further. And then soften through the shoulders and the head. Releasing the space behind the back of the neck. Inhale, rising up nice and tall. Taking this a little bit more passive, and I'll turn to the side so you can see it better. You're going to start to pull the chin towards the chest and roll your way down. Thinking about really releasing the space behind the back of the neck. Inhale, beginning to sit up nice and tall once again. Find that length in the spine. Just realigning everything before we move to our next posture. Seated tree pose, right leg begins to extend out. Left leg pulls in. Sitting nice and tall. Start to shift your weight forward. Just begin to feel that hamstring stretch. Get to your edge and then soften the head and the shoulders. trying to lengthen top of the head towards the top of that right foot. Inhale brings us back to a nice tall seat. Extending both legs out, taking a little wiggle here, and then sliding that right leg in and extending a little bit longer through the left leg. Finding balance in between those hips, belly button goes towards our left big toe, lengthen, and then start to soften the head and the shoulders. Always wanting to be in a place where you're feeling the sensation, but it's not too much that you can't focus on your breath. So bringing it back to our breath allows us to soften into these postures without this tension and resistance, this holding back because we can't breathe. Our body's like afraid that we're gonna tear something, so it starts to tell us, don't do that. So listen to it, find that edge right before that, and soften there. Last breath in this tree. Inhale brings us up nice and tall. Again, extending those legs out, giving them a nice little wiggle. Let's start to rock onto our backs for a moment. So planting our feet about hips distance apart, take the right leg up and over. Begin to reach for that left hamstring. So we're moving into a reclined pigeon pose, pulling that left hamstring towards you. Starting to get that stretch in the right hip. You can stay in stillness here, or maybe just gently rock side to side and find that place where you're feeling the most sensation. And maybe you start to hold and breathe there for these last 3 rounds of breath. So slow it down. Coming back to center, gently unwind those feet, plant them. Bringing the feet mat distance apart, knees to touch. Allow the hips to be heavy. Relax your shoulders. We'll start to move over to the other side. So left leg starts to cross over, reaching for that right hamstring, pull it towards you. Starting to find your edge here. And then maybe a gentle rock right and left. Again, always up to you. So find what works best in your body each time you practice, because they change so much every day. And just finding that space where you're feeling the most sensation and land for these last 3 breaths. Slowly coming back to center, gently unwind those legs again, plant the feet. And you can take them back mat distance apart with the knees to touch, or bring the feet together, let the knees fall out. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, 3 breaths. Nice and heavy bodies. Melting into your mat, final breath. Making our way back up. Pulling the knees into the chest, Starting to rock forward and backwards a little bit until you make your way back up to a seated position. If that's not for you today, please make your way up however you like. So I'm turning back to the front again so you can see a little bit better. We're going to take a wide-legged stance, and you can sit however is most comfortable on your mat. But taking the legs out to the side to your flexibility. So that might be super wide if you have a lot of flexibility, or it might be a little more like here. So again, sitting on our blanket in this place can also help our pelvis tilt to a more comfortable position for our bodies. So just play with that and see what works best for you. Let's pull in our right leg, moving to a wide-legged seated tree. We're going to take a couple of side body stretches here. So take that arm out to the side, reach the outside arm up and over, and think about stacking shoulder, rib, hip, all in this one line, so we're getting the most out of this extension. You may be able to come down to forearms here, or if you have blocks, forearms to a block, you might be more extended. It's not so much about how we can get closest to the ground, it's about lengthening out this part of our side body first, and then getting deeper into the hamstring for this particular stretch. If it's not comfortable to look up to the sky, feel free to look down towards that left knee, just keeping the length through the side body. Or whatever side leg that you're on. It doesn't have to be the left knee. Lengthen out. And make your way back up to center, sitting up nice and tall. And then begin to fold forward. Just walk those hands straight out, getting to your edge, which may be right here, or you may be able to fold all the way down to the belly. Starting to make your way back up nice and tall. And bring those feet together, knees apart. Extending out the other leg, wide-legged seated tree. Side body stretch, we reach up and over, lengthening as you begin to fold, keeping that alignment through the side body. That top shoulder always likes to roll forward. So if you can, halfway through, reassess and try to pull back so you're getting that extension through the entire side body. This stretch and that previous one we did, reclined pigeon, is really helpful for low back pain or stiffness in the low back area. Inhale will bring us back up nice and tall. Extending out forward, 3 rounds of breath. Find your edge. Inhaling back up to our nice tall seat, this time extending both legs out. Finding your edge, keeping the feet flexed if you can, and then we'll take the same side body stretches, walking over to one side, reaching top arm, lengthening out through the side body. Sliding that top shoulder back, find a comfortable space for your neck so it's not cranking. Inhaling back up nice and tall, taking your way to the other side, extending, lengthening, pulling out of this lowest part of our back. Inhaling back up nice and tall. Taking our final stretch here, we'll begin to fold forward, using whatever props you need and taking it to your deepest expression, 3 of your biggest, fullest breaths. Inhale brings us back up nice and tall. Slowly bring those legs together. Maybe even squeeze those knees, giving yourself a nice little hug. Then we'll make our way onto our backs, setting up for a gentle back bend, finding bridge pose. So feet or hips distance apart, fingertips down towards the heels, press into the feet, lifting belly button towards the spine, lifting hips to the sky, shoulder blades towards one another. 3 more breaths. Slowly beginning to lower down. Take that moment in stillness. Then gently shift the knees side to side. Moving into a hip stand, taking one leg to the sky and then the other. Knees don't have to be straight here. You can also have your hips on a block or a blanket to give you a little bit more support in the low back. Start to relax the shoulders back and down. Then begin to extend the arms up. Just feeling the low back on the mat. And the upper back on the mat. Maybe you roll through those ankles one direction and then the other. Pointing and flexing through those feet. Just keeping them nice and mobile. Do the same thing with the wrist. And then bringing those knees into the chest. Again, giving yourself a little squeeze if that feels good. Taking a spinal twist. So knees fall to one side. Arms can open out wide. If you don't quite have enough space, you can also take those goddess arms or cactus arms. Just relax into this twist. There's going to be some resistance when you first get into it. So use your breath to soften. Each time you find an exhale, get a little heavier. Making way back to center. Taking any adjustments necessary. And then head those knees over to the other side. Allowing yourself to be heavy. Bringing yourself back to center. Taking a nice little squeeze, and then releasing out for your Shavasana. So you can always lay however you like. Whatever is most comfortable to you. I'm running out of room, a little bedroom. But the legs just fall heavy to the edges of the mat, arms away from the sides. Just feel like you are taking up space. If laying on your back isn't comfortable, side or belly is just as good. So take a deep breath in. Exhale out of the mouth. And just allow yourself to land in this moment. Take in a few seconds to let the body and the mind just rest and heal. Starting to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. Slowly waking up your body. Maybe reaching arms overhead, lengthening out. Staying here, making your way onto your favorite side. Just curling up, taking a moment to breathe in practice today, noticing how our body and our minds are feeling. When you are ready, gently make your way up into an easy seated position. Bringing the hands to heart center and the forehead towards the fingertips. Closing our class today with a big final cleansing breath, just letting go of any thoughts or emotions or feelings that we don't want to take with us through the rest of this day. Take a big breath in. Let it out of the mouth. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. I truly hope that you feel better in your body and in your mind. Bringing the thumbs to the forehead. Take a moment to honor one another. Namaste. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I am Kat Harmon. You can look me up on social media under Kat Harmon Yoga on Instagram, and it's Kat Harmon on Facebook. Message me for any questions or any ideas for different classes that you're interested in. Thank you so much.